friends! Today we're talking about one of my special interests, paper. This will be fascinating to some people and so dull to others. So if you don't want to listen to me talk about paper and you just want to watch me, that was my dog, use paper, then by all means, you can mute me. I've been lucky in that I've had several jobs where it was sometimes my responsibility to work with printing companies, which meant sometimes I could go on a field trip for work and go touch paper all day. So like any paper-obsessed person who also journals, I've bought my fair share of notebooks to try out. The two we're looking at today are the Hobonichi Day-Free Planner and the Midori Notebook. I bought my first Midori notebook in 2017 and my first Hobonichi Techo in 2022. I'm taking off the cover of my Hobonichi Day-Free. It's an A6 size made from Liberty of London fabric. My other big hobby is sewing, so I was really excited for that collaboration. Hobonichis have been made since 2001, and they were made for a specific purpose, which was to have a very nice interaction with a fountain pen. Hobonichi used a special paper called Tomo River paper. People who love Tomo River paper because of how thin it is. It's thinner than most journal papers, but it works better with all kinds of writing instruments. So the writing stays crisp, even when using wet, kind of inky tools like rollerball pens or fountain pens. A couple of years ago, a company called Sanzen took over the production of the paper and made a new version called Tomo River S. The paper is lighter than the original Tomo River paper, and it's about the same thickness. If you're curious for comparison, it's actually thinner than newsprint. That's wild to me. Pens do take longer to dry on the Hobonichi paper because it's designed to keep ink from soaking into its fibers. Like I said, this makes the planner a great fit for writers who use inky writing instruments because your pen won't bleed or spread as ink kind of wicks or soaks into the paper. However, this means that gel pens and rollerball pens will take longer to dry too. Fun fact, at least to me, since they source the water for their paper plant from a river and the mineral and chemical makeup of the river changes by season, Sanzen has to filter the water differently to make sure that the quality remains the same throughout the year. So while Hobonichi sources their papers from an outside manufacturer, the Midori company makes their own papers. They've been making them since the 1960s and have been perfecting the process constantly for decades. They've been making what I think of as their signature cream-colored paper since 2007. I originally bought the Midori because I'd started using Copic markers and I'd heard good things about how they blend on Midori paper. And they do look great, but not surprisingly, they bleed through like crazy. The paper in their notebooks is very similar weight to the Hobonichi. It's especially great for fountain pen users, but I cannot afford to start that hobby yet. Here I'm testing the same writing instruments as before. A mild liner highlighter, Emot felt tip pen, Uli gel pen, Jelly roll pen, and a Pentel sign pen. They don't bleed through on either notebook. There's just some ghosting on the other side of the page. So paper-wise, I think most people will be happy with either. For me, what it really comes down to is whether you want a planner like with the Hobonichi or a plainer notebook with more flexibility in how you use it, like the Midori.